This video, we're going to take a look at Caleb Williams from the 2023 season and see a lot of the really impressive plays that he's made and how we think it can translate to the next level. And we're going to dive right in. Here's a look right here that really shows his arm strength and a little bit of play action, half roll, and he's absolutely Caleb Williams. Here's a look right here, something that Caleb Williams did have a little bit of trouble with this year, just kind of misplays, mishandlings of the ball, whether it's with the running backs, whether it's just right here on the snap this early in the season. But right here, ball hits the ground, picks it up, got guys in his face right here, and he just rips the thing 50-plus yards off of his back foot. And right here, just an unbelievably athletic and strong throw to get this thing all the way down to the opposite 40-yard line off his back foot from about the 12 after just fumbling the ball right there off a snap. Just that athleticism, that strength is really rare, even in the NFL. So unbelievable play there, even though it started off pretty shaky. This is another really impressive play. Getting a blitz here. Pocket gets condensed. You feel like you have an unblocked guy here of this DN. Tackle does a decent job getting to it, but what he's throwing right here, he's throwing this dig. At about 15 yards, he's throwing a dig to the widest receiver up top. And if you're just watching Caleb Williams' feet off his back foot, just that rotational throw, and this thing is still got a lot of pace to it. Hits the receiver right in the face, exactly where you want it on the in-breaking route. Allows him to protect himself, get down. But right here, not being able to stride through this ball, pockets got condensed, still throwing an accurate ball with a lot of pace to it. Here's another example of just great arm strength here, throwing 4 verticals. This is on a 3rd and 20, so this is a long yard situation, and they're working this window right here on these verticals and these seams. So right here, this thing gets ripped, and just seeing it right there live, what it looks like. Exploding off his hands right there. Not just a ton on it either. I mean, he's ripping this thing, but it's not one of those things where it just looks uncomfortable for him, where he's having to throw it as hard as he can. And he can fit that thing in that window before that safety rolls down. Again, this is on 3rd and 20, a too high look. Put it on his body underneath that safety for a big completion and first down against Arizona State. Another impressive throw and another impressive job of understanding what he needs to do. You got a dig and a post, and this corner's trying to play over the top of this post. And, of course, right here, just having to throw this ball over the backers and still put enough pace on it to beat that corner that's rotating over is really impressive. Not a ton of the guys can just throw this ball with this much accuracy and this much pace to it and beat a corner that's trying to rotate over like they do right here. So, again, this is not one of those that's just going to be on the highlights, but as far as pushing this ball to the intermediate windows like he'll be asked to do in the NFL, he's still got the arm talent and enough pace on the football to throw it with a little bit of trajectory on it and still beat a corner going to the middle of the field like they do right here on this one. Whenever I saw this play right here, jaw just dropped, and I thought, hey, this dude is an absolute freak. Getting a little bit of pressure here. You got to go on the outside with no safety help. And Caleb Williams just steps up, and you see him throw this thing as he's stepping up through the pocket. And just rips it one-on-one and hits him right in stride as well. So this thing is not behind at all. Drops it right in the bucket, right in stride against UCLA. So right there, a one-on-one that ends up being a touchdown. But just right here, looking at how accurate and how strong this dude is to step up, going vertical, and throw it from the far hash all the way outside the numbers, right in stride. That is an unbelievable throw and something that I don't think anybody else in college football can make. I don't care who you are, who you play for. That's an unbelievable play right there by Caleb Williams. Here's another look. Caleb Williams just dropping an absolute bomb, and just the ease that he puts on this ball. This doesn't look like he's forcing this at all. Hits the top of his drop, steps up. He's throwing from the opposite 40. Just the trajectory and the ease on that, and that thing just continues to travel. And they're able to run it down. Probably was going to hit on about 2 or 3 yard line, so about 60 yards in the air. But just really accurate football right there, pushing that thing vertical, and looked really comfortable doing it as well. So just the arm strength, accuracy, pushing the ball 60 yards down the field is really impressive. There's another look of a 2-ball right here, having to get over the top of the linebackers and beat a corner. Again, you can see this corner playing on the top. You're going to have a post to the middle of the field. You can't lay this thing up like a balloon. You still have to put some pace on it, but you have to get over the top of these linebackers that are kind of in the intermediate window here. So right there, puts a little bit of pace on it. Up and over, though, hits this guy right in the chest, even though that guy should be rotating hard to it. With that much pace on the football, even with the height to get over the linebackers, shows a real good feel for that intermediate window. And also, just actually putting on his body allows him to protect himself as he's going to get hit. Another one of the plays this year that you just can't believe what's going on. This is a 4th and 1 against Washington. Pretty big play right here. They're down by 7, and it looks like they're trying to do some kind of little pop pass over here to the short side of the field, and it's not there. There's some penetration. Caleb Williams just go ahead and spin around. I got a guy in my face. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and rip this thing from the far hash to the front pylon of the end zone for a touchdown on a one-on-one. So right there, just unbelievable play. Nothing's there. So he reverses his field, gets his eyes up, and he's athletic, strong enough. And look at how he's throwing this ball. That looks a lot like Aaron Rodgers to me, just rotational strength right here. Just flips it and rips it to the front pylon right there. Unbelievable. You can see how this ball just flies off his hand. Really just rotation his core into it. Just throws it up to his guy to that front pylon. He adjusts to it, makes a big play right there against Washington. This is a look just again of just how athletic his upper body is, how much flexibility and strength he can put on a ball. And right here, you got an unblocked DN in your face, throwing a screen. He drops his arm angle way behind. And of course, if you or I try to do this, we'd probably tear every single ligament in our arm. Not going to be able to walk the next day because our back is so sore. But unbelievable play. Drops his arm angle, gets it around, gets a completion, and it's just one of those superhuman plays that Caleb Williams can make. Not many people can. This is another good look of 4 verts and how Caleb Williams, he just looks so comfortable right here, even flipping this to the middle windows. Stepping up, everything looks easy. He's even striding through this one, so this is one of those rare plays this past year where he's able to just have like a normal pocket, and he rips this thing through a pretty tight window, and you can see it right here between those backers. Got to beat that safety with the pace of the ball as well. And right there gets it to him right before that corner can converge. So again, small window to get it into those receivers. And right there he has a good pocket. He's able to step up, stride through it, and zip on that ball to beat that corner. Really accurate throw and catch. I thought this was a really good ball. And not many people probably see this in the stat sheet. This is man coverage. And you got outside leverage pushing him to the safety. You got a back that's trying to clear out this window. You can see that there's a big window here. And Caleb Williams right here, you got to put it on his body so he can protect the football, keep the defender from knocking it down. And just the accuracy on this ball is really good. And you can see he's swiping, trying to knock it down. But this ball is in a great spot. Just the accuracy on this. I know a lot of people can probably do this or say that this is easy, but throwing an in-breaking route on somebody's body, putting it in that tight of a window is a really good football play. And Caleb Williams made a lot of those over the past 3 years. Here's maybe the most accurate ball of the season. I don't think there could be a more accurate ball in college football. I know I haven't seen all of them, but as far as a fade, a go ball, he's throwing this thing from the middle of the field or far hash. And there's about a 2-foot window to drop this into the bucket. Pretty good defense here from Cal, but this thing with the trajectory and it being up and over, exactly where you need it on a fade ball right here. Great catch as well. So really good ball, really good throw and catch on this. But a lot of times great throws, good catches, beat good coverage. So right there, unbelievable accurate ball on just a go fade ball there for SC and Caleb Williams. Here's an underrated play against Colorado. Running back gets absolutely melted into the quarterback's lap, and you got double slants here from the bottom, which obviously receiver absolutely toasts this corner, does a great job of winning his one-on-one. You don't like number 1, so now we're going to reset, go to number 2. But having somebody falling into your legs as you're throwing the ball is really uncomfortable. And right here, he does a good job. Hey, I got to get my feet out of the ground so I don't get rolled up on. And he's still, as he's getting his feet up out of the ground with that awareness, he puts this ball right on the wide receiver's face mask, allows him to get an easy catch, get both hands on it, just like you want. So really accurate ball with people falling around his legs on this one to make you really uncomfortable. I thought that was a really underrated play right there by Caleb Williams. Here's another look at just how he can move around in the pocket and his accuracy off platform on this. So again, it's about a half roll. You got a puller. They're only bringing 4. He's going to kind of move around a little bit. And watch how he's throwing this thing. He's stepping up and he's just ripping this thing. Again, very similar to the way Aaron Rodgers has done it in the past. Just kind of rotating those hips and that core. And he rips this thing. And, of course, this looks really easy because he's not just having to throw this thing hard like a lot of quarterbacks would have to. But just he makes it look so easy. He just flips his wrist. And, again, this is a 25-yard crossing route that would be tough for anybody to throw. And right here he's stepping up in the pocket with no lower body for the most part other than just his rotational strength. And he's ribbing that thing, making it look easy for a 25-plus yard completion right here on a crossing route. This is a look early in the year, second game against Nevada. And this is something that he really likes to do. Whenever everything kind of gets condensed, he'll back up, change the rush angles for everybody, and he'll step back up in the pocket, which is really impressive. And then when he steps up, now he turns into Barry Sanders. Just that horizontal movement right there is unbelievable. I don't know how you're going to get that guy on the ground just with how quick he is. And no, he did get sacked, and of course he will turn the ball over sometimes as well, but we'll get into that. But right here, just the athleticism to step up through that and then make a guy miss, keep his eyes up, get a completion. Really hard to stay on the wide receiver whenever there's a play that gets created where there's 6-7 seconds where they just have to try to stick to their man. Really hard to do. And right there, finds the open receiver for a big touchdown. Another look here of just how athletic he is. Really good DN comes free right here. One of the better players in the Pac-12. Kind of shakes him out of his shoes, then he kind of slips around. Keeps his eyes upfield. Again, good two-ball right there into the window. Throwing a whole shot. Again, awareness to understand that safety's there. And then also just the awareness to make that guy miss and then replace him with where you're at on the field. So right there, again, very impressive play by Caleb Williams with his awareness and the accuracy on the move. Another play from UCLA. Now, they did bring some funky looks. And on this one, it's unbelievable. They rushed 3. All right, so right here, they rushed 3. Caleb Williams, you know what? I'm going to have to make this guy miss. Beats one rusher. Here's the second rusher. Makes the second guy miss. Here's the third rusher. So literally, they rushed 3 guys, and he had to make every single one of them miss. And he does. So right there, like Barry Sanders in the backfield right there trying to tackle him, makes all 3 rushers miss, and then gets out, going to his left like he's really good at, which is unbelievable. And watch him throw this ball. That's a really difficult throw. Again, just the angle and the strength that he's got to get on this. As a righty going to his left, and he rips this thing 20 yards down. Not the most accurate ball. Would love to hit him in the face mask, but just the strength after making 3 guys miss, ripping this ball for a 20-yard completion on a comeback or a guy running across the field is unbelievable. So great play there by Caleb Williams. Here's the aspect of Caleb Williams' game that I think is a little bit underrated, which obviously he's rated as a top quarterback, so it's hard to underrate that stuff. But right here, D-end, he's getting a rush. It's just taking a little bit longer than it probably should to work open because they're playing man-to-man out there at Notre Dame, which they did a great job against USC with this. Getting a guy free, and just watch what happens. He's reaching, he's grabbing, he's swatting at the ball. Caleb Williams just has a little bit of pocket movement right here, about a yard to 2 yards, working away from him. And he goes up and over this guy and throws an accurate ball on probably a dig or a guy working across the field against tight man coverage to win to get a first down on a 3rd and 9. So right there, really good play. And you can just see how condensed this is. Caleb Williams is still able to get a completion right there on a 3rd and 9. So a big play right there against tight man coverage. Obviously something that Caleb Williams is going to have to do a little bit better job of in the NFL. He forced a couple of throws, just like right here against Notre Dame. He's forcing this throw, and this is early. They're 6-0. Notre Dame's 5-2. And we know this is going to be USC's toughest game. And right here early in the game, he turns the ball over. He's forcing this thing. It's a 1st and 10. Check the ball down, get a completion out here. But he forces this thing down the field. It ends up being a turnover. And he did have some trouble with that, especially whenever they went on that streak where they were struggling to win games. Another look here from the Notre Dame game, trying to make something happen. I think it's one of those things, again, he's trying to press. He knows he's going to have to score 50 every game to have a chance because their defense was so bad. Hopefully it'll be better this next year. But right here, going to his left, pulling up. Doesn't see this corner coming off this underneath route. Throws an interception. Again, this is 2nd and 10. Throw this thing away, or find your check down. Make sure you get a completion. Don't force this thing, especially on your side of the field. It's an interception. Sets Notre Dame up with a short field again early in the game for USC. This is something obviously not all on Caleb Williams, but it seemed like there were a lot of issues this year with just the ball being on the ground at different times. This looks like they're just running power. I'm not sure if there's an RPO or what's going on right here, but just the ball security from the back and the quarterback is not great. And just this year, it seemed like there were a lot of footballs on the ground randomly, just like on this one. Not good. Setting up a team with short yards right there. You can't turn the ball over like that. Whether it's his fault or not, it's all going to fall back on him either way. This is one that's kind of indicative of what kind of happened later in the year. They're playing a really good team, which they played a lot of good teams late in the year, and they struggled at it. But it's a 28-28 game. It's right towards the end of the half. And there's DN gets contained. You can see this ball, just how lackadaisical he is with the ball security. It's towards the end of the half, man. It's the 1st and 10. Get the ball out of your hands. Do not turn the ball over. And right here, so lax with the ball. Gets knocked out by one DN. The other DN jumps on it. And now Washington has plus field position with about a minute left. And, of course, it's a tight ball game when they're doing this against a team that went to the national championship. So really bad time to turn the ball over. Usually not a good time to turn it over, but This was really bad time, especially against a good football team like they did against Washington. So that's one thing he's obviously going to have to work on, his ball security, especially when he's moving in the pocket. And then, of course, not forcing the ball, know where your checkdowns are, and know when to play another day, especially whenever he steps up in competition into the NFL against some really good D linemen, really good DBs. It's going to be one of those things where he's going to have to learn and continue to learn how to play within the system and play within himself, not always force trying to make these big plays. So coming down to it, as far as grading Caleb Williams, it's one of those things I wanted Jay Daniels to be better than him. It's just not the case. Caleb Williams is an absolute freak. He's a great player. So accuracy, A. I mean, that dude can get the ball up and out as quick as anybody. He doesn't always have his feet right to be accurate, whether it's underneath stuff, middle range stuff. It doesn't matter. Accuracy is going to be an A. Arm strength. We saw it. Stepping on the pocket, throwing that thing to the left hash is unbelievable. And just the way he makes it look easy when he's pushing that thing 60, 70 yards down the field. Arm strength, A+. Unbelievable athlete, unbelievable strength in his core to make some of those plays. Athleticism, A. He's not going to be a guy that's going to outrun a lot of people. I think he's probably going to be a 4'6", 4'7" guy, maybe at the best. But his horizontal speed and the way he can stay alive in the pocket is as good as anybody. I mean, just the quickness there. Made a reference to Barry Sanders. Obviously, he ain't Barry Sanders, but the way he moves and the way that those guys have to try to contain that guy are unbelievable. The defense has to play differently whenever one guy's not going to get him on the ground if it's a one-on-one. So athleticism, an A. Awareness, just the way that he moves around the pocket. Obviously, he's got to be better with the football as far as holding on to it, but his awareness to move around the pocket, create extra time, and then find guys down the field is second to none. I don't know if there's anybody else in the NFL that can stay alive and make plays like Caleb Williams does, so he's an A right there. Intangibles, I know a lot of people have brought a lot of stuff up. They did struggle towards the end of the year, painting his finger, whatever. All that stuff doesn't matter. Watch Caleb Williams in an interview. He's been in a big market. He knows how to handle himself. He's going to do the same thing when he's in the NFL. He's going to have to go in there and show that he's not just a cool guy, which I think that's what he was trying to give off at times with his persona. Go in there and show that you're a worker, which I think he will. That's more like what his persona was whenever he showed up at Oklahoma. He just wanted to be the next guy. He wanted to be the guy that's working in the background. And if he got a shot, great. But if not, he's going to be the guy working. So you got to just show up with that attitude, and I think he's going to be fine. And there were a lot of guys that followed him and Lincoln Riley to USC. And if they didn't believe in Caleb Williams, I don't think they would have followed him. So right there, I think he's a good teammate. No matter what anybody else says, I think he's a guy that can lead in a big market and has been a leader of a team that has a lot of publicity. Of course, he won the Heisman. He's been in front of a lot of people. He's going to be fine at that part of the game, no matter where he's at, whether it's in Chicago, D.C., it doesn't matter. He's a guy that's been in the spotlight before, and the moment's not going to be too big for Caleb Williams. So looking at a comp for Caleb Williams, it's going to be really odd, but you think the way that he moves around in the pocket and stuff reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray. And then the way he can throw the ball off balance, off platform, reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, Mahomes going to his left, doing different things with his arm. And those are unbelievable comps. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, two of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, and probably two of the best quarterbacks ever. Is he going to be able to do all that? I don't know. But as far as athleticism, strength of his arm, the way that he can move in the pocket, the way that he can create plays, he is that elite. I think he is that guy. So it's just a mixture of people right there in his game that you can see all over the place. So really, really impressive comp. So with that being said, I'm going to have to give Caleb Williams an A+. As far as everything combined, he's by far the best quarterback in this draft. And, of course, like I said, I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted there to be a little bit of controversy about it. But, no, Caleb Williams is that guy. Now, just watch the film, makes unbelievable plays. The film doesn't lie. Now, of course, you get him in front of some people, interview him a little bit, and see how that goes. But if I was just going off film, he's the guy. He's the number one guy overall, easily. And if I really needed a quarterback and could afford to trade up, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade up, try to get Caleb Williams because he is the guy for this draft, maybe for drafts to come, but we'll see. Let us know where we missed on Caleb Williams. If you think we were way off or if you think anybody else is better than Caleb Williams, let us know. But I really appreciate you guys watching. If you guys could subscribe to the channel so you guys get updates when we put out more videos. We'll see you guys again in the next video.